So hello there and welcome to Bo Beats. My name is Bo and these are some quick tips for the Novation Circuit. Alright, so in this video with quick tips for the circuit, we're going to look at how to make some kind of varied or interesting drum grooves using the circuit and the sample flip. So we're in a blank session here on the circuit, and the first thing I always do is, I pick a tempo. So say, let's go for 105 BPM, and I pick a swing value as well. Normally I just, leave it at 50, but you can change it up if you want to. Then I will lay down a hi-hat like this. This will work as a metronome, giving me, the tempo of the song and giving me something to play with. Then I usually pick 4 patterns because I think that is a nice, nice length. And I go into drum 1, shift plus drum 1, and I start auditioning samples. And now what I want to do is I want to make like a basic groove using as many sounds as possible, and then I will do some variations to it, recording changes to the sample flip. So normally I'll just play around with it a bit. And the thing is, why I want to play around with it a bit is just get a feel of the samples and trying to find cool transitions from one sample to another. Right, so I think I got something here. I want to use this one, and this one, and this one. So now I will just let it play for the 4 patterns because I think it's easier to get into the groove that way. And just adding a bit more hi-hats here. We can change up the hi-hats later if we want to. Let's just make them a little bit shorter in the decay. Add some reverb to the hi-hats as well. I think that sounds better. So this is sort of an electro beat. Now what I can do is I can easily overdub channel 1 here with additional hits. So let me pick out something that I think will, fit nicely. Yeah, this one. So what I did now was I just recorded on channel 1 the hits I wanted, and as you could hear, you didn't hear all of the hits I did because they are now, they were already on a step that had a sound. So when you overdub like this, you will hear the sort of, you will hear the first recorded sounds, and then you will hear, just when you play it back, you will hear the changes that you've recorded. So basically, you are just recording no changes. You're not recording the actual sound. So, so when we play it back, you can hear all the changes. I want to add this sound as well. So as you can see, it's pretty simple to overdub and add stuff, to create a variation that is perhaps harder to play in real time using the pads. At least, at my skill level, I'm not a good, I'm not a good finger drummer. So, I mean, it's much easier just to overdub it with the kind of variations that you want. And you can do the same thing on the hi-hats as well. So let's pick 4 patterns. and we just play through it. We enable recording, shift drum 3. So now we have a hi-hat groove, and I want to add, let's say this bell. And we can, we can increase the swing a bit to say 65. Let's go into drum number 2 here, and so as you can hear, we have added a lot of variation to the drums. So what the point here is that we want to have as complex of a drum pattern on each of the 4 drum channels, utilizing the sample flip functionality. So on drum channel 1 we have sort of this kick and snare and some added percussive and effects elements. On drum channel 2 we have snares and some more effects, and on number 3 we have more of a hi-hat groove with also some effects added. So we can add a little bit of effect, say some reverb to channel 2 and 3. Now we can start to think about channel 4. You could add like a vocal sample, or you could add a drum sample or something on top of it, to just make it even more complex. Now you have to be a bit careful now so you don't overdub, for example, using this sample here that we already have in the song will probably sound a bit strange. But what do we lack? So if we listen, we can just figure out what we're lacking in this drum groove. I'm already hearing it. We're lacking a clap sound. Let's audition. Let's see if Light has added any cool claps. I think the clap, this is one of the claps. And let's automate the pitch like we did in the last video. And now we just have to mix it together, the 4 channels. And basically what I do here is I'm always trying to keep one drum channel, drum channel 1 for example, more focused on the kick side of things, carrying this groove, and the other ones is try to lower a bit, add a bit more effects. I think that's a pretty good way to do it. You know, think that the drum channel here is where I put the effect. No, sorry, the drum channel 1 here where I kick drum. I try to make it prominent, but I don't add a lot of effects or a lot of distortion or something to it, but rather I do that on drum channel 2, 3, and 4, where I add effects, add some distortions, you know, to create variation, create, you know, harmonic variation and harmonic content. Like this, for example. We can actually use distortion a bit on drum channel 1 and 2. Let's just play with it. So in summary, I think the most important things here are to utilize drum channel 1, 2, and 3 to its fullest. That means recording live drum playing. And this is much easier than trying to program it. I find it much easier to record a groove, overdub it, recording small changes. You can even use, try using sounds with very short decay so they don't get clipped, because, when the samples change, it will clip. So I think this is very important. And then you utilize the drum channels, and in that way we get a fat, interesting groove. So I hope you liked these quick tips for the Novation Circuit. If you did, you can always slap a like on it, you can subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support me even further, you can always head over to patreon.com/bowbeats. And also, if you have any questions or suggestions, just leave them down in the comments and I will get to them as soon as possible. So this was Bo from Bow Beats, and I hope you have a very pleasant day. Thank you so much.